High above the frozen northern wilderness, where icy winds sweep across empty mountain ridges and snow drifts endlessly over the rocky ground, a ptarmigan moves quietly through the cold silence. In winter, its feathers are pure white, blending perfectly into the snow-covered world around it. But hidden beneath those pale feathers is a remarkable secret. With every changing season, the bird itself transforms. Tonight, beside the soft warmth of a fire, we follow the peaceful life of this quiet mountain survivor. This is not a story about conquering nature or escaping hardship. It is a story about change. About learning when to let go. About understanding that survival sometimes means becoming someone new. The Arctic and alpine wilderness can feel timeless during winter. Snow covers everything in a soft white stillness. The sky turns pale and distant. Even sound itself seems quieter in the freezing air. In this frozen world, the ptarmigan almost disappears completely. Its white feathers are not simply beautiful. They are protection. Against the snow, predators struggle to see it. Foxes pass nearby without noticing. Hawks searching from above see only another patch of winter landscape. The bird survives not through strength or speed, but through harmony with its environment. It becomes part of the season itself. But winter never lasts forever. Slowly, almost unnoticed at first, the world begins to change. The sunlight lingers a little longer each day. Snow softens along the edges of the rocks. Tiny streams begin to form beneath melting ice. And for the ptarmigan, this changing season brings a difficult transformation. The white feathers that once protected it now become dangerous. Against dark rocks and thawing earth, bright winter plumage suddenly stands out. What once offered safety now invites danger. And so the bird must change with the land around it. One feather at a time, the white coat begins to disappear. Soft brown and gray patterns emerge beneath the fading winter feathers, matching the rocky ground of spring and summer. The process is slow and exhausting. During this period of transition, the ptarmigan exists between two worlds, no longer hidden completely in snow yet not fully adapted to the warmer landscape either. There is something deeply emotional about this transformation. Humans often hold tightly to the things that once protected them. Old habits. Familiar identities. Past versions of themselves. But the ptarmigan teaches a quieter truth. Sometimes the very thing that once kept you safe can eventually hold you back. The bird does not resist the change. It does not cling to winter after the snow begins to melt. Instead, it lets go with remarkable calmness. That surrender is not weakness. It is wisdom. The ptarmigan spends its life in constant conversation with the seasons. Every shift in weather asks something new of it. Every year demands another transformation. Yet despite living in such an unpredictable environment, the bird carries itself with surprising peace. Its movements are gentle and deliberate. It walks carefully across the rocky slopes, pausing often to observe the world around it. Even in harsh wind, there is stillness in its posture. A kind of quiet acceptance. Perhaps that calm comes from understanding something essential about life in the wilderness: nothing remains the same forever. Storms pass. Snow melts. Feathers change. Seasons move on. The ptarmigan survives not because it controls these changes, but because it adapts to them gracefully. There is a kind of hidden freedom in that. Many creatures spend their energy fighting against discomfort or resisting uncertainty. The ptarmigan does something different. It adjusts. Again and again. Not with panic, but with patience. Even when sudden snowstorms return during spring, covering the mountains once more in white, the bird remains alert without becoming frantic. Years of survival have taught it flexibility. It understands that nature rarely moves in straight lines. Winter can return unexpectedly. Warmth can vanish overnight. Safety is never permanent. Yet the ptarmigan keeps moving forward calmly through all of it. Its life becomes a quiet meditation on resilience. During summer, when the mountains finally lose their heavy blankets of snow, the bird's darker feathers blend perfectly with stone and tundra plants. It becomes nearly invisible once again, this time against earth instead of ice. Then, slowly, as autumn fades and the first snowfall returns, another transformation begins. Brown fades back into white. The cycle repeats itself endlessly. To an outside observer, such constant change may seem exhausting. But for the ptarmigan, it is simply life. Adaptation is not an interruption of its existence. Adaptation is its existence. And maybe that is why there is something strangely comforting about this small mountain bird. It reminds us that change does not always have to be feared. Letting go does not always mean losing yourself. Sometimes transformation allows you to survive. Sometimes becoming something new is the most natural thing in the world. As night settles over the mountains once more, cold wind drifts softly across the silent ridges. Snow begins falling again, slowly covering the rocks beneath a fresh layer of white. Somewhere in the distance, nearly invisible against the frozen landscape, the ptarmigan rests quietly beneath the Arctic sky. Its feathers shifting once more with the season. Its small heartbeat steady against the endless wilderness. And tonight, as your own thoughts slowly begin to quiet, perhaps you can learn something from this peaceful creature of the mountains. Let old worries fade like winter snow melting into the earth. Let go of the versions of yourself that no longer fit the life ahead of you. Trust that change does not always mean losing what matters. Sometimes it simply means growing into harmony with a new season. Somewhere high above the frozen world, the ptarmigan continues its endless transformation. Calm. Silent. Unafraid of becoming something different. And as sleep gently carries you toward dreams, perhaps its quiet wisdom can guide you there too.